Hi, I wanted to address hip 90-90 trail foot hovers as well as external rotation. When we sit in hip 90-90, I will program a lot of times you to do some trail foot hovers, some trail leg end range rotations. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to create some joint independence between the actual hip socket and the hip joint and the rest of the pelvis. So we want that ball to rotate inside of the socket rather than getting that whole pelvis to move as one unit. So we're trying to create joint independence before joint interdependence, okay? So if you have completed your hip 90-90 holds and maybe you've done pails and rails, a lot of times I will program you to do these trail foot hovers. You will come back up to a tall position if you're able to, and then you will, I tend to preload all of the muscles in my hip, and then I will lift up the foot. You'll notice that I didn't have any shifting at all to try to lift up the hip like this. I didn't tend to, rotate my whole pelvis forward before I lifted up the foot. I'm going to stay nice and strong and controlled, contract all the hip muscles, lift the foot up. Now, if you're not able to lift the foot up, that is 100% okay. You have a couple of options there. One, you can come forward or lean forward a little bit to the point where you can then go ahead, contract the hip muscles, lift up the foot, or you can simply stay in this upright position, but just try your darndest to get that foot up. If it doesn't come off the floor, it's okay. Eventually, after more practice, it will. So same thing for the end range rotations. We would pivot over that back foot, and there's two ways you can do this. You can just open up the hip while keeping your torso facing forward and really contracting hard at that end range, like you're trying to push that knee further behind you. Or a second option is you can pivot over that back foot and then sort of turn your whole body. Now you'll notice that I can open up the hip further when I allow my whole body to come with it. That's not always what we're after or what we want. So you can play around with both of those. Sometimes I will program you to stay facing forward and keep it really honest within just that hip. And then sometimes I'll want you to go ahead and do the whole entire movement. So hopefully that helps give you a little bit more clarification behind trail foot hovers and trail leg and range rotations.